Okay, so today I'm going to teach you orchestral composition in drum and bass. So this is the project that we will go through today. I'm going to play it and then we're going to break it down. Let's go. Alright, so this is the project that we will go through today, and let's get straight to the breakdown. So the first idea started here with these violins, and I just really started with this really simple loop of augmented strings with this preset. So first of all, these augmented strings are from Arturia. They have pretty amazing banks, like strings, or for the vocals, or for the brasses, or for all the orchestral components. It's pretty expensive, but I would recommend getting hands on that as soon as I will have any opportunity to get hands on the brasses or different orchestras from them. Definitely will go through it. So this was the first kind of idea. I just started with this easy tension, and then what I did is I just created this like a simple progression through with my violins from augmented strings. So what I did is I just found some presets and I just composed this easy composition, 4 notes. So straight away I had like an easy idea of where I want to go with this idea, and for everybody and for everyone, like creating these compositions are super easy because I only use like a presets from the augmented strings. So I use falling strings, then I use some sustained tremolo. So in this violins kind of a composition, what is interesting is that you can use like a different rhythms and different presets. So this is like a falling strings. So in the start they have kind of like a falling effect, and that's creating this kind of a live feel to all the strings, even if it's composed on a computer. So this was like the starting idea of the composition, and then I created this piano loop or piano, because when you create a composition you need to find your first root note, and this is how I do it. This is how I compose even without knowing the music theory, right? So what I first do is that I first found root note, or the note that I want to start my composition with or track with. For this track the root note is D2, so D minor is going to be like the root note for everything, for the samples, for the vocals, everything will need to be in a D2. And then after, from that root note, you can kind of go in a different notes, and you just use your ears and you just decide what sounds good and what sounds bad. And that's what I did with this piano. I started with the root note D1, but then these higher notes, yeah, the higher note is also D5, but then there is G5 and E5. So that means it's in some kind of a scale. I don't know what scale, but it sounds good to my ears. So that's what I did with this piano. Then no down, or those notes that note, the bass notes are copying the original root notes, but the high ones are the new ones, right? So the higher notes are kind of like the new notes that are creating a melody for the composition. So this was the piano. The processing is pretty easy. I use for a lot of these live sounds, I use a lot of OTT with these settings. And your best friend in these compositions are going to be the EQ, the OTT, and the auto filter. We will get to the auto filter sooner and why it's so important in this kind of compositions. So I had this kind of idea, and then what I did is that I went on a splice and I added this cello to give it like some leading melody or some leading idea to the whole composition, and best friend reverb to play with the room, and EQ to get rid of some of the low frequencies that we do not want in a whole concept. So together it started to sound like this. So straight away I had like pretty a good feeling about that this composition is going to work. And of course we are drum and bass producers, so that means that this is like a live sound, but when we are drum and bass producers we use analog, we use the VSTs and different things and different reeds basses and basses, and that's why I added and I started adding serum into my composition, and that's when the composition started to get more electronic and more cool. So the first thing that I added from a serum was just a classic, just a classic easy serum bass. And just a quick side note for those who knows the production and who orients here, there is new Serum Point 2 release and dropped yesterday. I saw it, it looks amazing. So for those who knows this information, please let me know in the comments what do you think about the Serum Point 2. Unfortunately, I was not able to get hands on that for this video, but maybe soon I will get hands on the Serum 2 and we can do some breakdowns, or I'm really hyped for that. So let me know down in the comments what you think about the Serum 2 Serum 2 hype. I saw it has like 3 wavetables and crazy things. So yeah, but in this composition I used oscillator A for the bass, a little bit of that noise, little bit of filter. So the filter is kind of like getting rid of the high frequencies from the sine wave, and then little bit of drive, and I created this bass. And what is this saturator doing is that it's automating drive, and it kind of distorts the whole composition under the bass. So I'm intentionally distorting the whole track, so I will create a kind of like a breathing feel for the composition. So it's not flat, but it's kind of like, you know, getting more intense and getting more soft. So that's what was the intention with my bass, and I just copied these like basic layers of keys. Then what I add is a second re-bass, so we start to get this like kind of a drum and bass feel to it, and it's just oscillate A with a 4 unisons, classic filter, and a little bit of distortion, and straight away I got these re-bass feels. Right? So I just created a simple melody, and then under that I used from OPXA A.way Beauty Harp preset with the pedal, reverb, and EQ, and I'm kind of like automating this pedal distortion and gain. So this is gonna now, because now the track is going to breathe. So what I notice in a lot of drum and bass producers compositions and tracks, they do not automate they do not automate like volume. They are kind of scared to go to the reds, and they are kind of scared to distort the whole track. But if you want to be more expressive, if you want your composition and tracks to be more interesting, don't be shy to kind of automate the gains and the volumes and the reverbs. Even if the whole mix is going to distort, it is going to create emotion in your track. So do not sacrifice your emotions in your tracks just for the limiter in green numbers, right? I'm here to tell you that it's alright when you distort and when you make things loud. So yeah, I just added the synth, and now you will understand why the track breathes, because I automated gain. And it goes down, and then from down, again up, and down, right? So now it kind of breathes in an electronic sense, and when I love all these like live sounds together, the composition starts to get this Hans Zimmer vibe, because it's like analog and the live sounds together. So straight away, I got a root for my composition. I got a body of my composition, and that's created from this melodic parts of a composition. But you heard that in this idea, there's a lot more to explore, and a lot more that I added. And the things that I added are the vocals, are the effects, are the impacts, are the basses that definitely will improve your composition to a next level. But before we hop on that, and before we will break down that, I want to inform you that my Masterclass 2025 just dropped, and in that Masterclass I go through all my mindsets, production, and you know, a lot of things that I experienced in 10 years of my production. I just packed them into that pack, into one pack, and included that masterclass in my first link into the bio. So for those who are interested in more of this production and more of my mindsets and how I navigate in this industry, please scroll down on the first link. What I'm going to do to the masterclass is that you see this whole composition. So I am going to include and do a great update to that masterclass pretty soon, where I will include 10 of these compositions into the masterclass with all the breakdowns and all the samples included this composition. So for those who can't wait, go to the masterclass, grab it now before it's super cheap, because when I will do that update, it's going to get, you know, higher price. So yeah, I'm going to add 10 more compositions to that masterclass, and this is just a start. Like this one, what you see here is just a start. So imagine 10 of these ideas breakdown. After that, you will probably know how to compose real orchestras, right, for your drum bass tracks or just for your tracks. And for those who want weekly feedbacks, Patreon, second link in my description. All right, so let's get back into this drum and bass composition. I said composition in this video like 100 times. So you can't have your idea fully finished when you don't have these things. It's called effects. So it's an impact, it's a vinyl noise, it's a bell. It's like additional sounds that's gonna glue your melodic part together. Like it's like a burger. When you're cooking, you will have your meat, which the meat is going to be the violins and the brasses and all that kind of melodic stuff that creates the emotion, and the bread bun and the sauce are going to be the effects. Alright, so I played it full, but now we can go one by one. So for the compositions and for that film effects, what you will need to understand is great kicks and impacts. So you can go into the splice and type impact, and you will find a lot of these things. And I just combined this Apache sub kick with this composition. So the first hit is going to be really important when you're trying to create like this kind of a effect and film effects. Then I added a glass with the delay. So it is like we break through something, you know, it's just creating that emotion and that tension that we break through something. And then we have like an impact. So it's more like a one shot kind of a snare or reverb or clap with a reverb tail. And then additional sounds, for example like beeps, and this is kind of creating just the depth for the track. What I also add is like a shockwave or another impact. So this is just like for just more that resonance in the low end. And of course I added some salt and crash roll free. So this roll free can kind of prepare you for the exact moment when the drop will come. You can also like reverse this shockwaves impact, so it's kind of like, you know, you kind of prepare the listener for that something is going to happen, something is going to land through their ears. Another important thing is bell. So I really like charge bells, and this kind of one hits that kind of interprets of doomsday, or just, you know, create really like a insane immersion to your ideas. No, it's subtle, but the bell really does like create some kind of impact. And then I have like another bell or another one shot that is kind of creating a melody throughout the whole idea. Dum, dum, dum. So you kind of create the tension for your ideas. And then I have like a cinematic one shot reverse. So that's like whoosh. So that's like whoosh. What I like about this, like impacts and going on from section A to section B, is that you can add like 100 more, and it's gonna sound more and more epic. So I guess there's not much of these effects you can use from section A to section B, for example impacts. Also, this is like another like side note. I have like a roll free or something like a swoosh here. So really, you can add a lot of these effects, and they are gonna work with your composition, even if you add like 500 of them. Then I added like a vinyl noise for the start. So we have like a section A, a section B. So there's something interesting in here, because this is more empty space here in the start. So you can definitely play with more instruments and samples you can add. I add this like a special violin from the augmented strings, and I use the auto filter. So it's not like a, right? It's not like a normal violin, it's more like playing with the tension and playing random, so it's going from ear to ear. And I use auto filter for all these samples here in the first drop, so you know, so it kind of goes from nothing to everything, right? Then maybe what you notice is that I used like a few like a, I don't know, what is this, like what is this in a bars, but I use few bars or 2 bars in Ableton to kind of stop every progression and give it a little bit of that time for that impact and that shock waves and the vocals to come on. So there's just a few principles in the composition and in this kind of a music, is that your auto filter is going to be auto filter, reverb, EQ, and OTT going to be your best friends, because with the OTT you can make your sounds more louder without sacrificing the quality of the sound or distorting the sound. With the auto filter, what you want to do is that you want to go up with the sound and then maybe go down, so everything is fluid and there is no sudden kind of changes in these compositions, because when something is fluid it's gonna be more user friendly for the listener. Then you have reverb to create room, which is really important, because a lot of these sounds that you hear in this composition, in this project, are raw recorded, so reverb is going to be your best friend for a room, and EQ is going to be your best friend for kind of keeping the mix clean. So every sound that has all low end, needs to be in a low end. Every sound that does not need low end, you can like cut the low end. You can play with the high end. So for example, here in these vocals, I'm going to show you one more tip. These vocals, when I get rid of all the progression here, sounds like this. What's my name? What's my dream? So you can hear this vocals, and this progression of vocals is so like stretched. I stretched it 2 times because the original BPM is 144. But with the 144 BPM, I would get vocals only on these bars. So what I wanted to do is that I'm gonna stretch the vocals on the whole composition. But then I noticed, like, it's so stretched, these like fragments of vocals and of this stretching are clearly here in the vocal. So I was like, all right, so let's add EQ for get rid of the low end we don't want. Then I added a reverb. So straight away I started to get like a pretty reverb. Then I added OTT, so it's loud. And you probably noticed that what is kind of working, or what is kind of saving the vocals, is this shifter with the ring mode and with playing of a chorus. And I just added a little bit of that spread, so it's on the sides. And I play with this chord. And I kind of, intentionally distorted or intentionally rotate the vocals around the whole composition. So it's kind of creating this kind of like euphoric effect for the vocals, and with that spread, it's super wide. So everything that is in the middle of composition is in the middle of composition, and the vocals are on the sides. So the vocals are not going to fight with everything in the middle. Yeah, a little bit of that delay. So you have like a left and right there, and then for like getting rid of the high end from the vocals, I added this EQ. And that's everything for the vocals. So in a whole composition with the vocals, with the effects, and with the middle, it sounds like this. So, of course, now when I'm listening to that idea for the 15th time, I hear that it could be mixed even better. It could be mixed even better. So, what I need to do probably is go through every reach of a sound, every one of a sound, and go mix it. That's what I'm going to do for the masterclass, right? So, yeah, and then in this end I kinda created and described how you can go from this composition to some maybe build-ups or fake drops, and I just added like these serum presets. So you know you can kind of like go and build from that. Right, you go with the breaks, and then again, boom, brum, brum, brum. Right, so that's just for like a demonstration of that it can work like that. All right, and this is the orchestral composition, and this is how I think about it, and this is how I do it for my drum and bass tracks. So thank you so much for being here. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something, please subscribe to this channel, leave a like, hit the notification bell. Let me know down in the comments what do you think about the Serum 2 and what do you think about this composition, and if I helped you or maybe inspired you. For those who are interested in the masterclass and more information from me and the updated version of these 10 compositions, first link in the description. For those who wants to feedback on their tracks, Patreon, and that's it. See you in the next one. Thank you so much. Peace. Bye bye.